Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Monday Show. We are a podcast by Clauses for the Claus community and beyond. We are North Pole Happy Hour, and it's good to have everyone joining us today. Got a good crowd already showing up. Everyone, please say hello to the co-host today, Randall Santa Checker Lee.
And of course, one of the most important ones right down there, Angela. Good to see you, Bob. Angela, great to see everybody. Glad you're joining us.
That's right.
TGIM to you all.
Phineas has the day off. He's out traveling about the eastern United States, having a little bit of a working small vacation, business vacation, you might say. But we'll have him back next week. So he's got the day off, as I said. Randall, we had a good Mother's Day here. How about you guys?
And Mother's Day was wonderful. We were very fortunate. It was in 68, almost 70, sunshine. We went to my youngest daughter's house, barbecued. Everybody came over. It's my oldest daughter's birthday today, so we celebrated Mother's Day and her birthday together. A great time. It was a good time to have the family all over. So all over at their house, not at my house. I didn't have to worry about cleaning. Went to there. It was good. It's easier.
Yeah, exactly. Very nice.
Okay.
Well, Ansel and Mac cooked out on the grill yesterday some fajitas. It was really good with my wife Carol cooked everything that needed to be cooked on the inside. Now, Ansel's was a little bit harder because we were having rain at the time, so we had to drag the grill up on the covered patio and be careful out there. And we made it work. You do what you got to do, and it was really, really, really nice. But yeah, it was cool, windy and rainy yesterday. Today we're 77 and mostly sunny, so
Just
fair
nice
weather
to get that
behind.
grill going again. That's just that extra flavor is just so good. And we just had burgers and dogs and salmon on the grill, and then good old beans and salad, and just like a picnic.
Oh yeah,
It
absolutely.
was
Oh, and I've mentioned this I think in past years, but Mother's Day is the number one day that restaurants are the busiest throughout 365 days a year. We were in the barbecue business, and we definitely can attest to that. Mothers don't like to cook, but you know, in light of the weather yesterday and everything that was going on, we decided, well, what the heck, we'll do it at home this year. So then we
Sometimes it's so busy
right.
going out. It's sometimes it's in a rush. People because they've got to turn them tables, to
Yeah.
get all those people in and out. So yeah, it's a nice thing to do for mom and grandma and any of the ladies in your life. But sometimes it's quieter to sit home and put your feet up and chit chat with everybody. But as long as you spend time together and everybody's safe and healthy, that's the biggest part.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and it's not always the most pleasant time to go out because of the crowds and, like you say, turning the tables and all. So,
And
you know
sometimes
what?
it can be a very emotional day. I mean, a lot of people it can be a very emotional day on Mother's Day. It really can be.
Sure. And for those of us whose mother and at our age, I think most everyone's mother has already passed on. We always take the trip out to the cemetery, put flowers on my mother's grave and on my mother-in-law's grave each year. And Carol and I done that on Saturday, and it was a nice day, be able to get out to do that. So we picked a good day. Good thing we didn't wait till yesterday with the storms and stuff. So, you know, hey, the sun's shining today, and that's all that matters.
It's another day we're on this side, smelling the roses from this side, not the other side. That's the
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Speaking of smelling the roses, you know what I think we should do next?
it's smell some good cocoa.
Hot cocoa with Santa Bee. So we're going to go to Santa Bee's hot cocoa segment right here.
Ho, 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 and happy day, my friends. Santa B here with you again today. And first of all, I would just like to put out a great big happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. Be you a Christmas performer, a Mrs. Claus, or just somebody who helps support your Santa as they go out and do their thing. We love you all. Thank you so much for who you are. And as I was spending Mother's Day with my mom, um, I realized at one point we had four generations of our family together. And it was beautiful to sit there and think about traditions and things that we've all had. As I got to thinking about how that impacts me as Santa, I got to thinking about all of us Christmas performers and the bigger part we play in everyone's Christmas traditions. I mean, really, even if you're not the one going to somebody's house for that Christmas Eve visit, when they see you in public, they see you as the character you portray, more times than not. and remembering how big of a role we get to play and how much we impact others is such an awesome responsibility. And one of the things that I never thought about when I started down this road as a Christmas performer was just how it would impact the people around me. I mean, clearly my family is impacted, but even my coworkers and my friends and the people that I go to church with. As a matter of fact, it was quite funny on Mother's Day. My mom came to church with us, and my pastor stood up and shouted out, "Look, everybody, here's Santa's mom." And she said, that was not ever something she considered being before, and loved how it kind of turned out. So I want to encourage you today, as you think about where you are, recognize how much the joy and love you bring to your Santa portrayal is also something you can share every single day. And you never know the impact you're going to have on just the people around you. Be blessed. Be well. I love you all.
So true. So true.
Yeah, great, great message by Santa B, as he always delivers. He had a golf outing yesterday, or maybe it was the day before. I'm not sure, but he was putting up some pictures, and it was for the K9 group that he works with veterans. So it was a fun event for him, I'm sure. But yeah, to be able to for his mother to be able to say that was quite touching.
Yeah, that's unique, and usually the family is. I remember at church we had a new assistant pastor. He was talking about church also, and then the pastor introduced me to the new assistant pastor. Well, this is Randy, or you can just call him Santa during the holidays. So it was the same kind of thing. So which is it's that cool feeling.
Yeah, exactly, for sure.
It's that cool feeling. So, but yeah, that's great. It's and it is, like he said, responsibility all year long to share that, and it's a gift for us to do, and obligation to keep that going, regardless where you're at. And that's part of the question coming up. We'll talk about that in a second.
Well, let's just go ahead and slide into the Elf Appetizer.
Well now, that's not just a burger, that's a statement. Welcome to the Elf Appetizer, where we get straight to the meat of the hot topics. Stop drooling, fellas, we're just getting started. We stack it high, truth, humor, a little heat, and we don't nibble around the edges. So pull up a chair, loosen that belt, and let's take a real bite out of this thing. Let's carve into it.
I'm sorry. That's just, if you don't smile, when you see the faces, you got to look at everybody's face and the reactions. Phineas eating the burger, and poor Angela's just all dejected out back. Did hardly gets a sniff way back there. That's a great one. I gotta say thank you.
Yeah, of course, Phineas is not with us today. As we said, he's got the day off. So Randall's going to take this segment, and I was just thinking, I still didn't get a bite of that burger. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, I don't know where it went. I'm drooling over it still. That's bigger than the first one, man. That's a great one. All right, the Elf Appetizer today is got a bunch of questions on it, but it really is it really is a lot to think about. As a Claus, doesn't matter if you're Mrs. or Mr. Claus or Santa Claus or whatever, or as a Claus or even a tourist, it doesn't really matter. Have you ever traveled internationally for Christmas or the New Year's Eve season? Question. Have you ever performed as a Claus internationally during the holiday? Oh, that would be exciting, really, for me. Is this a job you would ever consider doing? There's a lot of companies out there that they're looking for that kind of Santa. Which city would be your choice to work during the holiday season? Man, there's a lot of cool over international cities that would be fun too. What would be the most concerns, if you have any? Would you be worried about your safety with the state of the world today, the way the travel is outside the United States? There's a lot of questions about thinking about that, and that was always a dream of mine. I made it was that bucket list, and I never had a bucket list in my life really, but I always thought it would have been cool to go someplace. And there's Mitch Allen right there. He usually can really place people all around the world. So I think it would be exciting to have gone to Japan or something like that and done a holiday event. And I think it would matter where you're going to right now, especially. I mean, Dubai's having some problems for a lot of reasons. So that would maybe be a concern. And it just never seemed to work for me. I was already booked early in the year, so to give away all my regular clientele to go just to do that, I never did it. Oh, you're looking for somebody in Hong Kong? Mitch Allen says somebody in Hong Kong. So Mitch can do that. I think that's. I know a few Santas that, of course, went to Alaska. They went to Dubai and quite a few places. So if you got your passport, I'm sure you can find a place to go if you're willing.
Yeah, and Mitch is on with us today, and Hire Santa does have very limited, but does have some of those opportunities. I think most of them are probably spoken for from year to year, but you never know. Reach out to Jenny over at Hire Santa and see if she has anything international that you might be interested in. There's other locations. I mean, I know China years and years ago when I first got started. Uh, Christie, Richard Christie, was sitting in China each year for years there, and he talked about it and even put it in his book that he had written. And he said that was the only gig for him. Once he went, he would never do anything else. So,
It's pretty much everything's all paid for. Your flight, I mean, usually the way the contract writes, most of them, flights paid for, food and translator and so on and so forth. Which I investigated in it big time a few places.
and they treat you like royalty. I mean, because you are a entity over there that is totally different, even though you're American and but the character of Santa Claus is like
Yeah.
really put on a pedestal. Where here in the United States, it's just kind of like we live with it. It's commonplace. We see it in all of our malls, our department stores, and at every turn now. But overseas, it's still a big deal. And remember, this is something we talk about in the schools. Is Santa Claus is really an American invention, you might say. And so now we're exporting Santa overseas, where we imported Saint Nicholas.
From
But
overseas.
so
Yeah, but it always interests me when it comes to some of the China and Japan things. It's not there is Christian religion out there, but really is major. It's not Dubai. None of those are really. It makes Santa such a history of religion there. I think more than anything. So, yep. Happy birthday to Chris Terry.
yeah,
This
I
is
thought
birthday.
a couple of weeks ago was his birthday, and I guess I had miscalculated. I looked at the calendar wrong. So anyway, her birthday to Chris.
But yeah, we've got a few in here. I know what Pat Wesson says, Hong Kong and Germany. I don't know, Pat, if he means you want to go there or you've been there as Santa, Pat. That's Mitch clarified. Mitch said he would love to work as Santa in Hong Kong.
Yeah.
Interesting. See, I think it would be fun to do Japan.
Yes, we are sending someone there, so I'm pretty sure that job is already probably filled year after year. But again, some of the questions that we posed about, would you be concerned if you had any concerns? Would you be concerned about your safety with the state of the world today, traveling outside the United States? As Santa Claus, your itinerary and your security detail would be max. I mean, I don't think that, and those who I have spoke to that has done it before said, they had no concerns, that everybody was welcoming and felt completely safe. You had like say a translator and someone who took you and carried you here, carried you there. There was someone with you at all times. You had security. So,
And from what I heard, a lot of them will, not all of them, but if you can do in your contract, either your spouse, friend, you can bring somebody with you. They would pay for somebody to come with you, so you're not there all the time. When you're not Santa, or whatever, Mrs. Claus with you or somebody's with you. So, which is always good. But I guess now maybe, like I said, there's some countries I would be a little more concerned right now.
Yeah.
That I don't, and like I said, yeah, I agree with you about they would probably be very secure and very, you know, treat you differently in and out, and you're going to the hotel, and you're not going to wander the streets anyway. So just kind of do willy nilly. So I think it would be safe and fun. It would be exciting. Some people do it every year, like you said. One gentleman said that's all he wants to do is every year, and it's. I just think it looks cool on a resume. I know they were looking for somebody to do Alaska during the summer. You're only going to do Alaska during the summer, but that's not really another country to worry about. We don't have to worry about the international laws or passports or things for there. So,
Absolutely. But again, the opportunities are out there. They may be far between, but you never know. Keep your resume ready. Keep everything up to date. Your passport at Christmas time. You never know.
And the honest thing about them is they seem like they're fairly. Some are kind of last minute, from what some people have talked about. That they don't think of Santa now. Get them booked for the holidays. So by the time they come up, you might already be booked or something like that. So
Yeah.
But it's something for everybody to think about. It just I kind of look back on. I wish I would have, but I didn't. So
Yeah.
it'll be all right. It'll be all right. But
And again, Mitch being the staunch businessman that he is, I'm sure that he tries to get out there and make sure that if those are recurring contracts or reoccurring,
get them on.
yeah, he gets them wrapped up, gets them ready, and gets ahead of the game. That's,
And we pretty much know all the agencies that do it by now, and most of us do that. So if you're interested in it, think about those questions. Would you feel safe doing it? Where would you like to go? You just contact the agencies. Just say, hey, look, do you have anything in so and so? I'm interested. Get a hold of Mitch and see if he, who, whatever, and find out if that's, hey, look, let's do that. I got a couple more years of Santa left, and I want to take that off my bucket list. I've done all the other things. Do it as long as, like, the questions say, as long as you feel safe and everything else, because you don't have to worry about speaking a language. You usually always have a translator. And
yeah, absolutely. And if there was anything you needed outside of your hotel, concierge would probably help you. If you needed to go down the street to a department store or something, again, I don't think there would be any worries there. For me, it would just be the funnest job possible that Santa could do. No worries, everything's taken care of. Just go do it, enjoy it, and have fun with it.
I'd be concerned about having enough suits, because if it depends upon the hours you work. You got to have a few suits because for me, I got to get mine cleaned all the time, and there's no way I couldn't make 2 seasons, with just 2 suits, let's say, for there, and I'd be afraid to figure out how to have them clean there.
So Randy Neely says cold in December in Alaska.
Yeah, it's still, nobody's going to be Santa in December, right? But they were looking for a Santa, I know, from like May to September. I had an email come up that said there. This was a little while ago. So
guess what, Randall? It's cold in Detroit, Michigan in the wintertime.
It's cold in Detroit in the winter.
Surprise, surprise.
Actually, they were talking about a frost warning this morning, but it didn't happen. They said some cities were going to maybe have a frost warning even this morning, even though it did make it almost a 70 yesterday. Yeah, like you said, depending on where in Alaska, completely like it is a different country. I mean, it's a long ways up there. That's
sure.
My oldest daughter and son-in-law are going to Alaska in a couple of weeks for get a vacation, and he goes, yeah, just going to point his finger right that way. 90 miles is Russia. It's a different world. I have never entertained. This is Donald. I've never entertained the thought of traveling outside the states. I live in. Let alone travel outside the country. I even now set time for travel on 2 events. Yeah, I mean, and there's plenty of work here. That's the thing. We don't have to go abroad. There is so much. I mean, thank goodness for all the great, talented Santa's and Mrs. Clauses out there. It's growing the business because people are seeing the value of our entertainment to give back to the children and the families. So it's growing the business. So you all got to be proud of yourself. There's probably for local work.
Yeah, Pat says, put in God's hands, no issues. Let me see if there's any more up here. We already read Mitch's where he said no, but he would be like to go to Hong Kong himself. I think we covered all of them already.
Yeah, pretty good. Yeah, it's just something to think about.
Yeah.
And like Bob said, the way the world is now, it is something a little bit more to think about.
Sure, especially if you wish to travel to places like the Middle East, Dubai, UAE, Qatar, places like that, which a lot of those countries have in the past brought Santa in. So,
Dubai's done a lot in their past. A lot of times they've had Santa there, but those would be maybe sketchy over.
Right now under the state of the condition of what's going on politically and all, probably not. But again, like I said, with the security detail and all, it may not be a worry. Santa Chris says, thanks for the birthday wishes, TNL family. Yes, sir, Chris. We hope you're having a great one. You and Kim get out and enjoy it today. Celebrate a little.
Chris is finally legal. He's finally got to his the legal age. He can have a pint of hot cocoa. Pint of hot cocoa is what he can celebrate on his birthday. Now that he's finally at legal age.
Yeah. So anyway, I would consider. I'll tell you, for me, like you said, Randall, Alaska would be nice. Hawaii would be nice. That's another one that would be a great destination. And those jobs do come open periodically. I saw this season already where there was one company, I don't remember off the top of my head which company it was. I don't believe it was one of our top placement agencies, but someone was looking for a Santa for a part-time gig, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, something in Hawaii. Of course, I don't know that it would be worth flying that far for a short gig, but for a seasonal gig, something that would be even part-time chair or full-time chair, even if it was only 2 to 3 or 4 weeks. Wow. How cool would that be?
That would be very cool. Very cool. Yeah, that would be.
In Japan imports a lot of Santas. Although they do have Santas over there, some that we all are friends with on Facebook. Great Santas, absolutely wonderful Santas.
Yeah.
But again, the Anglo Santas are getting brought in a lot of cases. That's what the folks want.
It's kind of funny. They're bringing the traditional look, the Anglo Santas here, and we're the more asking for more ethnic Santas here.
Yeah. Diversity, that's what it's all about.
There was more diversity Santas here than Doug said 2 years ago.
I got or saw that someone was looking for a Santa in Japan. I passed the information along to an Asian Santa I knew, but he was already booked. Yeah, and we have a Chinese American here, Alan Su, that is actually does some chair time at the Mall of America with Larry Jefferson, who is a African American Santa, and
for how many years now? 15, long time.
Quite a while. Let's see here. Donald has another one here, Randall.
It is wonderful that something that has been basically originated in the U.S. that is good to be exported around the world.
And it has been for about the last 20 plus years. It's been something that's been going on.
Did we miss Sue's comment?
I might have.
I'm going to pull it up.
Okay. Whoa, that's a big one. All right. Stationed in Germany in 1972, my husband, now ex, was asked by his unit commander to fill in as a Santa. We had just gotten to Germany a couple of weeks before that and didn't know the language, but they taught him to say Merry Christmas, and he just kept nodding and saying yay and gut to the kids. He didn't know why he was saying yes or good. He just kept saying that and Merry Christmas. Well, you know what? You improvise sometimes. He also tried giving my son away a couple of months after that. Giving your son away? The waitress who was serving us kept admiring my young baby and said in Germany that she would take the baby for the price of our bill. I got the gist of what she was trying or what she was saying, but my husband didn't, and he said, "Yay." Everyone around us laughed because I was saying, "No, no, no, no." Good one, Sue. All right, go ahead and pull that one down, Angela.
That's pretty funny. Yeah, well, there's sometimes you want to give those teenage. If it was a teenage boy, you might want to. You might have want to give him away.
Pat Weston says audition for North Pole, Alaska this season starts May 1st, September, later October, December. Worked in Alaska in 1976, oil exploration, Kodiak Island. Cool.
Oh, very cool, Pat.
All right, I have scanned up and down through here. I don't think we've missed any.
Again, thank you, folks, very much always for being a part of that. Part of the.
It was just a fun little question. Thought, being a day after Mother's Day, we'd go easy today and have something fun and something that we could all, dream about. I think there's a big portion of the Santa Mrs. Claus community that would consider doing that.
Yeah, I believe I think quite a few would.
All right, we're going to jump off
in one way or another.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. All right, so we're going to go ahead and jump off into our santascloset.org, and we'll be back on the other side for the trivia. Okay, santascloset.org trivia for the day. The sleigh bell brain teaser. This is good for a gift from Wade and Scarlett over at Santa's Closet. I remind everyone that the producer needs both letter and word as the answer. Makes it easier for her to decipher between all the A's and the B's to know what the answer behind that is. And whether or not it's for the first question or the second question. I'm going to go ahead and grab the first one here. What city was the top trending international destination for the busy December holiday season around Christmas and New Year's, according to data from Google Flights searches December 21st and January 4th from airports in the United States? What city was the top trending international destination for the busy December holiday season around Christmas and New Year's, according to data from Google Flights searches December 21st and January 4th from airports in the United States? Your choices are A, Nuremberg, Germany, B, Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, C, Sydney, Australia, and D, Strasbourg, France. We didn't mention Australia in that first segment, but that would be another great destination.
Really would be, yeah.
The folks are friendly over there. They'll put a shrimp on the barbie for you.
Yeah, sounds like a good one to me. You got to watch them kangaroos though, because they're fast and they kick and punch.
They're real kickers, aren't they?
They really are. And of
All
course,
right.
we have the second one, the Claus, the bonus round. Of course, the winner of this gets their name in a hat for North Pole Cornerstones 2027. Man, there's so many lucky people. The question is, what city is considered the #1 Christmas destination in Japan, known as Christmas City? Where's the first Christmas was celebrated in where was the first Christmas was celebrated in this country? What city is Christmas City? I guess is the easiest way of putting it for me. A, Yokohama. Is that how you spell Yokohama City?
Yamaguchi.
Yamaguchi. Thank you. I only got a Kawasaki. Sorry. B is Tokyo. I was going to say Toyota, but it's Tokyo. C is Kobe. Love Kobe beef. D is Osaka. So that what is considered the #1 destination of Japan, known as Christmas City? A, Yoka. Thank you. Gucci. B,
Yamaguchi.
Tokyo. C, Kobe, and D, Osaka. So remember, use both. You have to have both, the letter and the name, to make it easier. Because since we have two questions, make it much easier for Angela to figure out who is the winner. And but great gifts always from Santa Closet, and of course, great thing to get a chance to get that great gift. I mean, free schooling. I mean, how can you go wrong with that?
Yes, and you mentioned that the name for the second portion there, the clause and effect bonus round that you read, name goes in a hat for a scholarship for NPC. That is from TNL family, and me and Tiana were talking yesterday. We have 6 opportunities for scholarships for the 2027. So not just the TNL, there's 5 others, and they're all listed over on our NPC website. And I believe Deanna is probably going to launch that site this week. So if you are interested in putting in an application for a scholarship, if your funds are a little low and you'd like to still come to NPC, you might be the recipient of one of those. Go over there in about a week or so. I'll announce and let everyone know when our website goes back live with the updated information. Right now, it still has stuff from this last February. So, but we'll get that out there pretty quick and let everybody know. Great opportunity to pick up a scholarship, come to one of the top schools.
Fantastic chances. I mean, you're talking 6 chances to go for free to North Pole Cornerstone. What a deal! I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot.
I don't know if you want to mention it or not, Randall, but thank you for one of those.
Hey, glad to, I'm happy to be able to offer a scholarship for the magical. One is a magical scholarship from me. And of course TNL and Deanna, Bob. There's a bunch of people have offered. Phineas is also doing one for the Canadian people. So a great opportunity for so many Santas and Mrs. Clauses that needs a little help for a great school to go to. Believe me, it was kind of
Yep. So North Pole Cornerstones does 2. Deanna and myself, one for a Santa, one for Mrs. Claus, or a elf, and then Cherry Hill is the other. So we just named all 6 of them right there.
that's fantastic. But you'll see more information when the website comes
Yes.
up and all the other days. But it's lucky people.
Absolutely. So we're going to run this, and we'll be back in just a moment again. All right, just want to remind everyone, Hilton Garden Inn and Conference Center, Oklahoma City North. That is actually Edmond, Oklahoma, a northern suburb of Oklahoma City, February 18th through the 21st, 2027, 4 days, Thursday through Sunday. Now, Randall, you speaking of scholarships, over to you for the next one.
Yeah, this is a great one, of course, coming up in June in Cincinnati, Ohio, June 25th through the 28th of 2026 is the Wondrous Women of Christmas. There's actually 4 scholarships that were won there also to go to that. So too, again, were given by me as Magical Scholarship, and Liz and Rachel, Rachel, right? Yeah, Rachel also gave scholarships. So a lot of people had them there. We got a deadline of getting that paperwork in by this Friday to for a couple more winners. So we've already picked a few winners, but there will be a few more. So get that paperwork in. Appreciate it, and apply at or just do womenofchristmas.com. That's in Cincinnati on the 25th to the 28th of 2026. And of course, you guys can't forget, if you can make it up to Clare, Michigan, in a couple of weeks. Bob, yep, Bob right up there. Hall of Fame Bob is going to do Sat Bob's class at the Jingle Joy, sponsored by Maps. So you can go to the Maps information on Facebook, and but that's June 28th and 29th for Bob's class, for Sat Bob's. It'll also be there on the 30th for a day at the Reindeer Farm up in Clare, Michigan. So join us there. And always something great going on. It's just always something to better the community, always something to better everybody, and just the fellowship and connection is priceless. And I'll say that word, priceless.
Be up there with all my brothers and sisters in the Maps in the Michigan area, and the Kringle brothers. I'm sure they got something planned for their show.
Yeah, it's always the first time we had our Jingle Joy thing up there. They were in a hotel, and they took over. There was a wedding going on in the banquet room, and it was kind of quiet. Next thing you know, the Santas and Mrs. Clauses went in there, and they're all dancing around with the small people who were left in the wedding. So it just became just a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
Yep, that's the cool part about it. And it does my heart good to know that there are so many learning opportunities out there. We're reviving, bringing back Sat Bob's, as I mentioned a couple of weeks ago. Have not done that since Gordon passed. It's been 3 years. I've had to do some work to update it, and it's going to be bittersweet to do it again. It's still great information, very vital to the Santa community. Gordon put so much time and effort into those books and putting that school together. And again, I just love the fact that there's so many opportunities and so many opportunities for scholarships going out this year. So again, everybody get your name in a hat for those, one way or another. You can either win on here and get your name in on some of these trivia questions on Monday and Tuesday, or there's so many different ways to do it.
All it costs is going to be for you is just travel and everything else, and stay, and that's to learn and to connect and everything. What a deal! We all need a little help sometimes when it comes to that, and it sure does help financially, and sure does help. Just going to it helps everything. Get y'all geeked up.
All right, next we're going to do something a little bit different here. We're going to go to our vintage vault, and this is going to go back to season 3, the Bob, Randyl and Company live show. It's just me and Randyl today. I thought, well, Phineas is not here to do digging deeper, so we're just going to dig deep back into the vault and pull out a book review that I did. This is one of my favorite little book reviews, and so we're going to have Angela play that video at this point. It's a short Christmas story. We called these nightcaps back at the time, and we'll talk more about it on the other side.
Ho, 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 ho!
Shop Thermo Apparel. They're wonderful. They're fantastic. And for the coolest of cool Santas or Easter bunnies, remember Thermo Apparel.
Don't just be cool as an attitude. Keep cool, literally.
Thermobarill, be cool.
Ho, 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 ho!
Since 1948, one suit defined Santa. Designed by Charles W. Howard and worn by the world-famous Santa Claus School. Worn for presidents, movies, parades, and the most magical moments in families' lives. This is not a costume, but finely tailored, hand-sewn clothing made in the USA. With expert cleaning, restoration, and storage services available, Santa and Company LLC makes Santa magical.
Hello, everybody, and welcome. I always think I should get a lollipop or something after I listen to that song for some reason. I'll just get a lollipop from a old-fashioned candy store. Well, welcome, folks. It is showtime again. Thank you for joining me with the Magical Moments. That is a great book, and that's what's cool about it. We'll talk about it after here anyway. But it's always we got so many choices to read. And there's so many good books out there for children, and that's part of our job. Is it helps entertain. We don't always have to do 'Twas the Night Before Christmas, even though I love it. There's so many fun books to do, but that's not what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about those children when they come to you and say, "Santa, I want $1 million. Santa, I want $1 million." That's what Santa they want to. Well, of course, there's many things that we can't do is give them $1 million, but so I thought I'd come up with something that. We have I'm getting the wrong screen here. Of course, our $1 million bucks, but so how do you I didn't want to just hand them the $1 million like that or cute. So how can I add something to the performance to take it a few moments longer and have them interact and get them talking and everything else? And so what I said is, of course, I do the whole thing about Santa can't give you $1 million. That would be counterfeiting. And of course, that's illegal and we only make toys. But let's see what I can give you. I can give you this kind of money, which is play money. They, of course, didn't like that idea. But so you just put it in there and say, well, if you really think hard enough and really hope and work hard enough, maybe you could make $1 million. Then you get them to think think real hard to win $1 million. Think you're going to make $1 million, and you just wait a minute. It's going to happen. Think very, very hard, and you just open it up, and then there's the $1 million bill to give them. Instead of just handing them out money, do a little magic to make it work. Just a little envelope. It's called an item called a Himber wallet. It's a magic trick, but. Basically, it's a 3-sided item, but when you do it, of course, you have it in the pocket, have a piece of paper, and whatever pattern you want to use, make it long, make it short, because then when you put it in there, of course, it's the same spot, and you close it and you talk to the children a little more. They don't really remember if you've turned it over, flipped it over 2 times, or not at all. You just then open it up like a regular book, and of course, that's turned into the $1 million. There you go. There's your $1 million. Of course, they're upset because you gave them again. Whoops, upside down, fake money. But it's fun. This is the Santa bucks. It's worth $1 million at the North Pole. So, and it actually is a silly magic word. This is another trick that you can do with. Remember these when you were a child? You can take a dollar bill and slide that in there, the money in there. Now this money. If it jumps. If it doesn't jump, you can have it, and I'll turn it into real. If it doesn't jump, it'll jump from there to there. Now watch, it'll jump. You don't believe me? You see, it jumps just that easy to that side. It jumps from one part of the page just that easy. It's just another, remember when you were a child, it's that funny little folding of the, but it's, I actually covered this with Santa Claus. I just glued on some material, but it takes another trick, something to interact with the children one step further. Then of course you can give them the gift anyway, but it just takes, instead of handing them out, just here, here's your $1,000,000. You just then did something magical, spent some time with them, got them to interact with you. Just fun to do it like that. And of course, we all do the coin trick, and Bob would have to tell you about his, but he's got a great routine about a penny and a cross, and he takes it out of children's ears. But there's so many times you could do. We give these away all the time. We always have them in our pockets. And to me, the best thing to do is not always have them just, here it is. Or what's, you can show them, and you can do and you can just make it appear out of your hand. Your little French clip is all that is, just a little, you keep it in there, and it's very easy to hide in your thing, or if you can do it like that, there's a lot of magic things you can investigate how to produce it instead of just taking it out of your pocket. Handed it to the children. Of course, I'd love to give the big coins. Of course, it works just as good with the big coin. I always like to do this with a big coin, especially when you put it in the here so you can see it. There we go. There we go. That'll work better. You put it in the bag. Now, sometimes when you're doing a big party or a big home visit that you like to do something a little bit more for, well, you say, well, watch that coin, and hopefully I can do this with, and you just have it slide out. The little one disappears and it turns into a big coin. These are by Spangle. These are a fantastic big coin, but it's another thing to do with a little bit. You could do the production of the coin out of the ear, but coin vanishes and becomes big, and that's a real showy coin, of course, to give to a home visit or something like that. Just some ideas that are inexpensive magic props that you can turn into patter, turn into entertainment, turn into just fun with the children and the adults, of course, along the way. And that's what I love doing. That little bit extra is always, like I've said it so many times, that sells you over some of the other Santas, and there's so many amazing Santas and Mrs. Clauses out there. I mean, so much talent and so many, you've already got this beautiful heart, everybody, and then so you want to stand out someplace a little different, and that's what it is. And that's what we talked about branding many times before, or making yourselves a little different. So of course that's always what I talk about. So again, thank you so much. I can't be more blessed and thankful for each and every one of you out there. Thank you. Again, happy Mother's Day to everybody yesterday, all you wonderful ladies out there. Thank you, and see you soon.
Now, there's one thing for certain. When I grow up, I want to be just like Checker Lee. He has the coolest
No,
stuff.
no, 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 no! Don't wish that on anybody. Never wish that
Man,
on yourself. Man.
We have a question.
you
What is the wallet called again?
The or this one. Oops. This wallet here is called a Himber, Himber, Himber wallet. Um, this again, I'm an eBay fan, but you can look it up on there. I think this was $7.99. It's a hard plastic, but that's all you need. They have it in real leather, look beautiful, but for the Santa interaction, that's all you need. It's easy to do. Of course, there's plenty of card tricks. They will give you a complete list of things you can do with it. To be honest with you, this one, I don't even remember the name of it. It's been so many years I've had this. That's why I had to cover it with material because I kind of wore it out on the outside. I wish I could remember, but remember when we were a child that you used to have wallets that used to be able to change spots, locations on there, and just one more thing.
Hey, what
Thank
you
you.
always
It's yeah, Doug Wright. Thank you. That was very nice. It is a fun thing to interact with children with, and because a lot of them will ask, "I want money. I want money." Because you can't give them money, and just one thing to play with. And we
you
love giving these out. I
always
think
bring it, Randall. You always bring it. And again, the thought about it's simple just to hand a child something, say, you've been good. I want to reward you, but that interaction, that fun, that is part of the show. That is part of us being entertainers in a very small way. But it really, for me, I would think that if I was a child and saw those things, I would just think, oh my gosh, that guy is, I just want to grow up and be like
it's more
Checker.
fun because Santa's so magical. I mean, Santa and Mrs. Claus are like super magical to begin with, and then when they see it happens in their hands or see it happens, um, I know I'm going to show in a couple weeks. Magicians do the little sponge balls. You know how they do those sponge ball things? Well, I found gingerbreads, little gingerbread guys. Talk about a fun thing to do. Sponge gingerbread. Good. They look like little gingerbread cookies. Oh, that's fun it's going to be. We're doing the sponge ball routine with children. Having all of a sudden they open their hand up and 4 or 5 gingerbread things pop out of their hand. It'll just be fun.
So when Santa Kevin asked what the wallet was called, John Schnickelberger says, I call mine empty.
Yep.
So true.
Cobweb. Blow them
Let's,
cobwebs out of there.
let's say thank you to Third Apparel, Santa and Company LLC, King Rest Partners, and Caboose for bringing those two segments to you each and every week. Now, back to the Nightcap book review. That book is from October 6th of 2020 was your published date on that. Source Books Wonderland was the publisher, and it's a 40-page book. It's a little bit long, but again, if you look at what Shirley Winter does with the photos, the pictures himself, and instead of reading the whole story, just kind of go through the pictures and tell the story, it's not that bad. It'll take up, 8 to 10 minutes in your presentation. That's not much. And it was a New York Times and USA Today bestseller. Little Red Sleigh, it's a heartwarming Christmas book for children, Little Heroes, Big Heart series. And again, one of my favorites, and the reason I wanted to pull it out of the vault and show it to everyone again today. Did that take you back? I mean, it's been over 2 years ago.
It's hard to believe.
Like we just played that yesterday. I mean,
Yeah, that's hard to believe.
something else.
That's cool, though. That's,
Okay. Let's get our trivia answers out of here for today. The Sleigh Bell Brain Teaser, the top trending international destination for the holidays was B, Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. And I found that one interesting.
Yeah, it didn't seem like that would have been
Wouldn't have been my choice if I was just guessing. And on the bonus question for the Claus and Effect bonus round, our answer there was A, Yamaguchi. Yamaguchi. Angela, our winners are, and you told me already, a familiar face has showed up in the winner's circle today, right?
Yeah.
AJ, Mr. Trivia, gets the prize today. And whose name goes in the hat?
Oh, my buddy, where I go. Okay, John Schnegelberger.
John
All
Schneider.
right, John. Congratulations, AJ and John. Good.
Good job, guys. Good job for
job.
sure. All right, Angela, have you got the next one queued up? Let's go ahead and roll into that if you have. Cherry Hill
Hey,
program.
I'm on my game today. If y'all haven't
She
noticed.
she is really been on it.
I've
You
been-
rock it always, Angela. You do.
Thank
Look at that smile. Look at that smile.
Okay, here we go.
All right, I want to say thank you to Cherry Hill Programs. As always, they are a big supporter of everyone in the Santa community. They do so much for the community, but all of the agents out there, Mitch Allen, Gina Bacon, Cherry Hill Programs, there's so many, too many to list, but those are some of our favorites because they work so handily, hand in hand, trying to make sure that we have a place to go each Christmas year. So thank you, Cherry Hill Program, Santa Central. Also want to say thank you to Jessica Lamb, Holiday Photo Magic, for her contribution to the TNL family. Okay, well, you know, we're going to be running the late closeout segment here in just a moment. Just want to remind everybody to don't forget to watch all the 2026 family shows. Tune in, kick up your heels, and join in the fun. All powered by the TNL Network Productions, and the list of shows and the days and times runs at the end of our end row credits. Randy, what's your thoughts or takeaways? You got any?
Always a fun day. Always great to be here on Monday afternoons. It really is. I sure missed it last year. And it's always great to be a part of it, to have people watching and helping and so much. It just blows my mind the amount of talent, people, the care that's out there. It really is an amazing community. Love you all. Thank you so much for all that, and I hope everybody has a fantastic week. Enjoy.
Well, you know, let's get out and enjoy the weather. If you have nice weather, you know, the sunshine. If you don't, I guess you're just locked inside. Get you a cup of hot tea or hot cocoa. You know, can always do that, right? Yeah, absolutely. All right, thanks everyone for coming by, spending your Monday afternoon with us. We appreciate you very much. Phineas will be back next week. Thank you to Randall Santa Checker Lee as always. And I still want to grow up and be just like Checker Lee. And thank you to Angela Mack, our producer, who was on her A game today. Thank you guys.
So bad, Angela.
See you next
Give me
week.
a like for that one if you're on YouTube.
Like
Yeah.
on
Don't give her a like. Give her a heart. That she lives far
A
more
heart
than.
and a like.
Leave
Give them
me a
something
comment
up.
and let me know how proud you are of me.
There you go. She's begging, folks. Thanks everyone.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.